Hello and welcome back to Thomas's Biblical Book Review. I know it's been a while and I'm back for another Bible review. Thank you all for your patience. It's been about 6 months, but I had not wanted to push out the review, so I've been sitting on this one for a while. And I thought, I'll release it after a few months. Like film it and then release it. But then 6 months later, and I don't know where the time went. Today I will be reviewing the Zondervan New American Standard Edition. This is a 1995 text, the thin line bonded leather edition, with large print, of course. Now, I actually got this Bible at the same time I got my ESV, but I didn't want to rush out a review too quickly. So I have been using it. It is not brand new now. It is 6 months old. I bought it in February of this year, and I have been using it. So there might be some marks that are from me, but there will be some marks that are not from me. And we're going to go over that together. Okay, so here we have the box. We are going to, of course, go over the box together first. This is the standard clamshell design. Here we have, and I believe this is one of the more recent design choices, is the Zondervan lines, which you can see here in a light gray compared to the dark gray of the background. And a photo of the Bible here with the New American Standard Bible, NASB, 1995 text, thin line, large print. Now, we do have some comparison to do later on, and don't worry about that, but we'll get into it. Here we have the features again on the side, 1995, NASB, large print, and it lays flat, which, I'll be fair, it does actually lay flat. Exclusive, easy to read, comfort print. That is, I believe, a feature that almost every mainline Bible publishing company has, is their own comfort print. So you'll be able to see some comparisons. Now, the box itself, I don't think that I've done too much damage to it, but I mean, it's meant to protect it. On the side, we have just one of the points here, 1995 NASB. Can you see that? Sorry. There we are, comfort print. We have the thin line NASB, large print here, 1995 text, just like on the cover. Photo of the Bible and Zondervan's trademark symbol there, their company logo. On the back here, let me just get that in frame. It says, accuracy you can trust, universally recognized as the gold standard among word-for-word translations. The beloved New American Standard Bible, 1995 edition, is now easier to read with Zondervan's exclusive NASB comfort print typeface. The NASB Thin Line Bible large print delivers the translation celebrated for faithfulness to the original biblical languages in a portable, easy-to-read format. The features include the full text of the New American Standard Bible, 1995 edition, exquisite, durable cover, less than 1 inch thick, double column verse-by-verse format, presentation page, 2 satin ribbon markers, words of Christ in red, exclusive Zondervan NASB comfort print typeface, and it is 10.5 print size. We often say stuff like font, right? When we think about font, we just think about the size of it. So we have here black bonded leather, and here is an example of the text. If you're in a Bible shop, that will be very useful for you because that is an accurate representation of what you're going to get. Oh, and then we have their social media. So there you go. Let's see here. So on the side here, we have again all the information on the previous side except for the NASB 1995 in comfort print. On the top, oops, sorry about that, NASB, that's that with a little picture, and on the bottom as well. Hopefully I'm doing a good job here. If I do screw up on reading anything, it is because I'm reading upside down, and I'm not an expert, I'm not a master. So let's open this up. So opening it up, we have the Bible. One commenter asked, why are the ribbons sticking out? And that's because I put it in the box right before I did this video. So, I mean, I was using it just before, so I just stuck it in. This is, usually I like to, before I do a video, I want to make sure that the book is in good condition, that there's no major defects, which I'm going to get into. So removing it here, the clamshell box is pretty good. I actually use the box to transport the Bible. So this is my going out Bible, and I use the box to take it where I'm going to protect it. So I don't mind taking a Bible out, but I don't want to purposefully beat it up. So here we have the Bible. I'll get the other ribbon out here. I still like my little trick about you fold the ribbon over and you can kind of use it to keep 2 places at once, so you could read 4 places instead of just 2 places. And because I like to do a little bit of Psalms, bit of Proverbs, something in the Old Testament and something in the New Testament. So usually I play with the ribbons. They're not too bad, sticking out the bottom a couple inches, I would say. Good quality. I have no problem with the ends of them. They're cut well, and they're not loose threads at the end, which you can see right here. Good length as well, so that you can fold them underneath into another page if you want. The tail bands, the head and tail bands are red. You can see they're very simple. Very, very simple. Very small too, I would say, the head and tail bands, but that's not a bad thing. The bonded leather here, it feels a lot like plastic. So it's not a bad thing, because I did not buy the Bible because I wanted a leather Bible. But I do have other bonded leather Bibles, and they do feel a little more leathery. I'm fearful to even bend this because it feels quite thin. You can actually see where they folded it over. There's like a line that goes around here where they folded it over. So it's quite thin and plasticky, but that's not a bad thing. Looking on the inside, the crimping on the corners is actually quite good. I have no issue with that. Not like, I think I was telling you in another review that one of the crimping was a little bit too bulbous. This is quite good, I would say. That's the front page here, and then on the back, same thing. Quite well done here with the crimping down here. So getting into the Bible now, we have the presentation page. I've started to write when I received the Bible. So February 8th, 2023, just so that I can keep track of it. We've got the Zondervan lines again, a nice light gray with a dark gray. I suppose the cover was more blue, but this is proper gray. So presented to, by, on, and it says, "Your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path." Psalm 119, verse 105. So that is lovely. Very simple, but There's no marriage page, there's no death page, there's no baby born page or family page. It's quite simple. We have the cover page here. I like to call it the crinkle page, but some crinkle more than others. And I didn't make that up, I'm sure I heard that somewhere. NASB Thin Line Bible, large print, NASB 1995, Zondervan, Grand Rapids, Michigan. Pretty straightforward here. We have the rights page, the copyright page here. The usual, printed in China, and then we go right into the content. The Roman numeral pages here, it only goes to 10, which is quite brisk for an introduction to a Bible. We have the foreword, the preface, the principles of translation, the explanation of general format, and the abbreviations and special markings. Then we have the Old and New Testament. And then afterward, we have miracles of Jesus, parables of Jesus, perspective from the Bible, prayers of the Bible, and promises from the Bible. So it is pretty bare bones in terms of additional content. You're getting the Bible. Okay, looking here, we have a blank page. We have the foreword. This is essentially the letter to you from the translators. We have the preface, or preface, you may hear, to the New American Standard Bible, basically the introduction, principles of translation, why do we translate, and why did we translate the way we translated, explanation of general format, that is, as well, why is it presented in the way it's presented, and simply abbreviations and special markings. This is important, of course, because many Bibles in our modern day are not just text Bibles, right? They're going to have the source and alternative, and they'll tell you where they're getting it from, or what word it comes from, or alternative meanings is a big one. Then we get right into the Old Testament. Genesis. As usual, it's starting on the right-hand page, so left-hand page is usually going to be blank. So here you can see a good idea of what the text size is like, and, of course, what it looks like. It's not insulting, I would say, to the eyes. It is quite pleasing. The lettering is friendly. And as well, I believe I had difficulty in the ESV when it came to verse number and reference number, because they were pretty similar. But this does not have that issue. They use letters here for alternative wording rather than numbers, which I'm a big fan of, I would say. Just keeps it easy, especially when it's not verse by verse, because then it can get a little confusing if you've got two 19s in the same place, or two 3s or something. But this does not have that problem. So let me read an example for you. Let me just find an example. Yes, perfect. So Genesis 1 verse 2. The earth was formless and void, and darkness was over the surface of the deep. And the Spirit of God was moving over the surface of the waters. So here we have formless A. Okay, what's that? So A down here is or, a waste and emptiness. Pretty straightforward. Also, we have here moving. It says or hovering. So it's quite straightforward. The letters go down, and there's not too many letters, I would say. Sometimes, like here, we have Leviticus. That's maybe not the best example. Let's go a little further. Okay, this is perfect. So we've got first book of Kings, chapter 1 here, and at the bottom we have only one single reference here, one single letter. So it doesn't overflow you with just endless alternatives, which I'm thankful for, because I tell you, there's a part of me that just wants to go down and look. Every time I see a letter, I just think, oh, I wonder what they say about this one. But I don't want to, it's just part of me wants to. So by not having so much of that, I think it's better for me. Now, this is verse by verse. Let's go back a little bit here. So you can see that at the end of 2 Samuel chapter 24, we have a blank space. Sometimes, especially if it's a compact Bible, they may just start. If it's big enough, they'll start the next book right there at the bottom. But this one, it does start on the new page, which I think that's better in many ways. Let's see here. We're going to go to the New Testament here. Here we are. There. Okay, so the Old Testament ends here, Malachi chapter 4, and then of course we have the space at the bottom, but exactly how I prefer it, we have the New Testament is going to be on the right page, blank page, and then the beginning of the New Testament. That's how I like it. So let's get a look at the words of Jesus now. So here we are, Matthew chapter 8, chapter 9, chapter 10. We have here some of the words of Jesus, and you can see that this red here is more of a gentle red. It's quite soft compared to some reds you may have seen. It is easy on the eyes for sure, quite easy to read. Not very dark, I would say it's much more on the light side, but I would say that it is good. The words of red, I used to be a words of red guy. I used to prefer my Bibles to have words of red in red of Jesus, but lately I'd say that I actually really do like them in black as well. Now, going to the end of the Bible here, Revelation, I always go to the end here. We've got Revelation chapter 22, and as you can see, we have some space here, and the next page is blank, and then on the right hand side we have miracles of Jesus. This is useful, and I always enjoy having this because you've got Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and it goes through chronological order of the miracles and every single one. That's useful, I think, because maybe you just want to remember every miracle in an easy way. So this has the miracle. We have healing miracle here. Miracles showing power over nature. Miracles of raising the dead. And that's all we have here. So we have these three categories. Really easy to follow along. So that's something that I do quite enjoy having. Then we have blank page, parables of Jesus. Here we do have the order in which they appear. Matthew, Mark, and Luke. Then blank page here. So it is useful, I would say. Perspectives from the Bible. So here it says what to read when the future seems hopeless. So you have an issue, you would come to this area, others have sinned against you, and then you would go to those passages. So let's do an example here. Let's do others have sinned against you. So we'll go to Genesis 33, 1-4. Okay. Oop, I had it. There, we're close enough. Genesis 33, 1-4. Here's 33. So 1-4 says, Then Jacob lifted his eyes and looked, and behold, Esau was coming, and 400 men with him. So he divided the children among Leah and Rachel and the 2 maids. And it continues on. I won't read all 4 for the sake of time, but you get the idea. Others have sinned against you, right? So here we have a very famous disagreement in Genesis, and they are going to come together, and is there going to be conflict? Well, that's the problem that we're having, right? Others have sinned against me. What do I do? Do I act this way or do I act that way? So it is useful. Not necessarily for everybody, and I really don't often see that in most Bibles that I've read, but it certainly is unique to have it. So we're going to go back. Perspectives from the Bible. Continues on. Then we have prayers of the Bible. This is useful because this is something that I think you don't see too often as well, is when they compile the prayers from the Bible. And there are many prayers in the Bible. This is, let's see here, 2 pages. Promises from the Bible. That's useful. And it ends, then we have 1 blank page, 2 blank pages, with a note regarding the type. And then we have 1 nice cardstock. Well, it's thinner, but it is pretty good writing material. This would be your main page to write notes on, because as we looked in the front, well, they do have 1 here as well. But you've got 2 essentially good white pages to write on. Okay, I want to tell you about something though, about this Bible. When I got the Bible, I ordered it from Book Depository before it closed down, of course. And I wanted an NASB. At least, one NASB, because I want to see what other translations have to offer. And I opened it up, started reading immediately, and I'll show you something. So Matthew, here we have Matthew 4, Matthew 5, and partially Matthew 6. You see there's a printing error here. This is difficult to excuse. I purchased the book, right, full price, and I saw this pretty quick. I must say I started with Matthew, so I saw this within a minute. It was disappointing, very, very disappointing. Every word on both of these pages is readable, right? I can read every word. It's not hard to read every word, right? Very, very readable. Very readable. Well, not the best, but I can read it. So I sent an email to Zondervan, and I said, hey, there's an issue with your printer. And they were very quick to say, let us replace it for you. This is unexcusable, they said. Let us replace it for you, right? They were so dedicated. And to tell you the truth, I only emailed them to tell them that there's an issue with the printer. I don't want a refund. I don't want a different Bible, because I can read this. I can read every word. So I was happy about their response, but I just wanted to tell them that the printer had an issue. But I hope that other people don't have this issue in the future, especially if this is their first Bible. Because that would be heartbreaking if you get your first Bible and of course it's not a human doing this. There's no person in China or wherever who's purposely doing this. This is a machine having a malfunction. But you just want the package. You want the perfect presentation here for what your budget is. So, of course, I did not accept an alternative. If I wanted a replacement, I would have contacted Book Depository because that's who I bought it from. But of course, what I really want is for other people not to have this problem. So, something up. But that's the only page that had the problem. But generally, I haven't had that problem before, so that was new to me. Talking about it. Let's talk about size. Now this is a thin line, is that what they would call it? Yeah, thin line Bible. That's what they call it. So my hand, I'd say I have a reasonable sized hand. This is large. You can grab it real easy, although I should tell you that there are no spines. This is, I didn't even show you the spine of the Bible. These are just painted marks. So we have, of course, NASB at the top, Holy Bible, NASB. We've got 4 of these painted lines. Sometimes you'll see 5 on other Bibles, Zondervan at the bottom. The size of it is pretty hefty, I would say. It's not heavy, and it's not too big, but it's probably the biggest I would ever want. I can't imagine myself having a bigger square Bible because it's just real big for me. But I prefer to have it to be thicker, but slightly smaller in that way. So here we have the ESV, and putting them together, how about I'll do like top lines up. So you see this gap here is the difference. That's about an inch right there. And if we put it on top, you can also see that there is a gap on the side as well. This is nearly an inch as well. So it's about an inch wider, an inch taller than, should I say an inch longer and an inch taller, because width would be this measurement here, which the ESV is much wider. But of course, my trusty King James here from Trinitarian Bible Society, you can see it's almost even double the distance. So we're probably looking at 1.5 inches. This is about 2 inches here. And in terms of thickness, you see there, the Trinitarian Bible Society is thicker by about 0.5 point, but it's just much smaller. And the ESV is much thicker. So overall, would I recommend the Zondervan Thin Line Bible 1995 text large print edition? Yes. I think that everybody should have, I don't want to get into the specifics, but I think it's good that you have multiple translations just to see the difference, just to enjoy the differences. I've never read NASB before. This is my first NASB Bible. The other was my first ESV Bible, and I think it's good to have it. Now, Zondervan is much more of a budget option. I like that. That's why I got it, was because I was on a budget. They do have other options, more expensive options, but with different quality I like. And perhaps in the future I would be considering some of their other lineup, but I think that it is a good entry-level Bible, as long as, of course, the text is not muddied by printer errors. So, that's Zondervan for you. The Bible itself, I forgot to mention, but the text of the Bible itself is 1,157 pages. That's pretty good, I would say, especially for large print, but thin line usually is going to be having that. Of course, the pages are much larger because it's a much bigger Bible in terms of surface area, but for reference, I believe the ESV has 1,800. Let's check. Yes, I was right on the ball with that one. So we've got 1,875 pages for the ESV from Crossway, and the King James from Trinitarian Bible Society has yep, 1,253 pages, so quite similar to the Trinitarian Bible Society King James. It is thinner, but it is a larger square. So it evens out. So with that, I'm going to end the review, and I hope that you found it useful, informative, and perhaps in the future it will help you come to a conclusion about which NASB Bible is good for you. Someone else will have reviewed a different one, and you can compare using all of these videos. So until next time, I'll say thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again. Bye-bye.